What's going on, guys? The Aquarius Beverly here, and thank you for tuning in to my video. I just wanted to share, a quick story time of my life of experience that I had on why I had to quit GameStop and make my exit. I hear a lot of stories of people working at GameStop and having just these crazy negative experiences with being with this organization, and I definitely understand. All stores are ran differently, but I look at things from a different perspective because I've had a good enough years of working with so many different organization companies and different businesses and arenas, and it amazes me as I reflect on this that I had the most fun at GameStop, and I think a lot of it is just because of the fact I was fortunate enough to do something that I was actually enjoying doing, talking about video games and working with customers. And I think ultimately, this is just a story time that can really inspire somebody, the right person that actually cares enough to listen through this video. And I promise you, I won't make this video drawn out long. I just wanted to give you my experience. And ultimately, GameStop, again, I think personally is a great company for the right person. And I think based on the people running the organization plays a big part of it. I was fortunate enough to work under a great team. I had a lot of fun with the managers I was working with. I just think about the times that I had, and I think that plays a big part in why a person will really enjoy a job or not is basically the organization, the team leadership that is ran under that organization. And so, fortunately for me, I had more good experiences with the people I work with than bad. But ultimately, when it comes down to GameStop, especially for someone who's independent or wanting to live on their own, it is very difficult to live on your own with income making at GameStop. Unfortunately, it doesn't pay enough to, pay the bills. And so if you're someone who's living part-time, maybe looking for part-time work or just, an entry level, GameStop is a great company. Unless you're someone who's assistant manager or a manager, then you maybe be able to be in a position to actually survive and, and buy a biscuit. But ultimately, you gotta just factor in that GameStop just doesn't pay enough. And so the thing is, I really realized that I had to start making my exit once I started to make adult decisions. And GameStop ultimately was under a lot of different transitions at the time with my store, especially with the fact that people started to quit. My managers was leaving, and then it was getting difficult for me because I had to started, decided to move out and get my own place, and because the fact, I had to make those transitions, it was very difficult for me to get enough hours in a sense to where I can be able to get into more advanced or higher up positions for full-time opportunities. And I think that's, and I'm just reflecting on this more because I played the victim a little bit. I thought that maybe they were being more buddy buddy, and I think that you could easily lean to that, especially because I figured that I was the top salesman in the organization, and I did sell a lot for the store in terms of reserves and subscriptions. With that is something that they really incentivize, especially when you go in that store. But I had to reflect on the fact that even with the fact of all the changes that were taking place and all the things that were going on, um, GameStop doesn't really pay well enough for people to really survive. And I think that's the negative thing. This job is basically entry level. It's like, your your fast food restaurant. And so I think for me at the time, I only stayed as long as I did because GameStop was something I really enjoyed working at. But also too, I was able to rent games, for free up to 7 days. It was something like that. And that in itself was well worth it because I just knew that anything extra of my money that I was making and anywhere else, I was putting a little bit in video games anyway. So being that I was able to work a couple hours a week and be able to check out games for a week. I mean, come on, man. Like, yeah, it was dope for that. And I think that ultimately, as you get, as you mature and grow up, and kind of just be in a better position where you have to start making sacrificial decisions. I had to make my exit with GameStop, and so ultimately, I think every organization is ran differently with every store. I think at the end of the day, you know, any job is more pleasurable when you have the right people under it, you know, and I'm just a firm believer of that. And anybody that can relate with that, hit a like on this video, because at the end of the day, adulting is real. And I think as a millennial, there's a lot of things they didn't tell us in school, man. And I'm just realizing, like, man, follow your passion, enjoy doing what you do for a living, because we're going to spend a lot of good time of our lives doing exactly that, working. And if you don't enjoy it at any little bit, what's the purpose of living or even doing it? You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you have to enjoy and find something you enjoy, in a term, in some form of way of what you do for work. Otherwise, it's just going to be dreadful. And if that is your situation, that can definitely change for you. And I hope that, by you watching these videos, subscribing, you can definitely get some inspiration and things, and I just share these stories as a form of outlet, because like I said, I think this will definitely help somebody, definitely if they watch along in these videos and just, kind of, hear out what my experience was. I think ultimately GameStop is different for every individual, but I look at things from a learning experience, and whether if it's negatively or positively, I'm looking at it as a question of how can I learn from that? How can that impact me? And I talk about that more in the other video about how GameStop propelled me and other things that allow me to still make income from the things that I enjoy with video games, and just to being able to be in an arena where I'm actually able to do what I love to do for a living full time. It's a great experience, and I just want to share that amongst people, who care to listen. So if you are feeling the vibes, you like what I've been able to share, then definitely, hit that like button and subscribe. Man, I'm just sharing some gameplay with Halo, man, because I'm really excited about Halo Infinite. I'm excited that it's coming out, and it's like a nostalgic experience for me, because I remember the very first original Xbox playing Halo with that big dumb controller, and I don't even think my hands was big enough to play it, but it was just such a dope experience, because I remember the first, first person experience game that was dope back in the days was GoldenEye on the N64, and then Halo just pretty much changed the game. So man, I just love talking about the things I enjoy, and I hope that anybody that's on this channel will relate, and just, let's hang about it and talk about it in the comments below, man. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it inspired the right person that stayed along. And again, yeah, man, I think you should definitely enjoy what you do for a living. I just think for me, GameStop was something I did enjoy doing, but I had to make an exit because, again, just indulging in life. But it still didn't stop me from following something that I can still stay in the arena. And I hope that's basically the gist of the video that you got out of this. So, nonetheless, I'm gonna go ahead and make my exit, and I hope you again enjoyed the video. And my name is DeQuarius Beverly. Definitely check out my other videos as well, as I talk about other related content on how I've been able to earn an income playing video games, but also how you can be able to actually do as well if this is something you're interested in. And again, my name is DeQuarius, and I'll see you guys at the next video. Peace.